welcome to Cooking with Lynn. I'm Lynn. I hope you've been joining me for all the cooking videos I've been doing for the Cumberland Library. Doing another one today, another seasonal thing. I like to kind of keep with the seasons and the holidays and that sort of thing. So today I'm doing sausage, cornbread, and dried cranberry stuffing. It's very, very easy. Stuffing, people, are on both sides of the fence about stuffing or excuse me, dressing. As I understand it, stuffing goes in the bird and dressing doesn't go in the bird. My mom always made meat stuffing, and it always went in the bird. And we try to recreate that. My sister's been taking on that job of the meat stuffing, but I always like a cornbread stuffing. I love cornbread. I love the sweetness of it. And I don't care that we have two stuffings on the table because everybody can pick what they like best. So I'll tell you what you need and then we'll get started. Alright, so this is sausage cornbread stuffing. So sausage, it's about, I don't know, a pound. I don't super love sausage, so I don't put like tons and tons. I like the taste of it, but I don't like big giant chunks of it, if that makes any sense. But you can add more sausage if you want, and you can add any kind you want, obviously. Cornbread, I made a cornbread from a mix, so I got that chopped up. I made it the day before, and you kind of almost want it to be a little stale, and I cut it up into cubes. When you make a dressing or stuffing, whatever you want to call it, if you're going to use cornbread, cornbread's very fragile. If you've ever made it, eaten it, whatever, corn muffins, they break apart. So, it's, you want to, when you're mixing it, you want to be a little bit more delicate with it. If you're going to use regular bread or like croutons, you can buy a bag of like bread stuffing mix. That's a little heartier, so you don't have to worry so much. But so when we mix it, we're just going to be a little delicate with it. Anyway, celery, one onion. I'm going to put dried cranberries in mine. You can use raisins, golden raisins, cherries, any dried fruit you want. Cranberries sort of is a Thanksgiving-y kind of thing, so that's why I'm going with that. You need chicken broth. Can you see me? I'm using low sodium chicken broth. You need, what else? A couple of eggs and a poultry seasoning type thing. So if you have poultry seasoning, you can use about a teaspoon of that. I didn't have any, so I sort of made my own. I just put some rosemary, just like a pinch of each. So rosemary, I got thyme, sage, and nutmeg, and those are all holiday fall flavors. So that should go nicely with it. So the first thing I'm going to do is get the sausage going. And just get it out of the casing. Get it going. Come on. You obviously can buy it out of the casing already. And any kind you like. I like mild sausage. I don't want it spicy. And you can use turkey or chicken sausage too. And substitute it for something else if you don't like sausage at all. Leave it out. I guess you could do that too. I'm sure there are cornbread recipes that don't have meat in it. You've got vegetarians or that sort of thing that you're trying to feed. So this is messy, but I always buy it in the casing and I always take it out of the casing. So I don't know why I don't spend extra time looking for the one that's already out of the casing, but old habits die hard. It's all good. So like I said, so that was a package of 5, I think, or 6, I don't know. And I used the other 3 or 2, whatever was in there, to make pizza the other night. And I saved this for my stuffing. This is something you can do ahead too. Let me just wash my hands real quick. You can do this ahead and put it, keep it in the fridge, cover it, keep it in the fridge, and that way, obviously if you're doing Thanksgiving dinner, you're busy, you've got a lot to do. Hopefully you have a lot of help. Your family brings dishes, but doing things ahead is certainly very, very, very helpful. I started cooking my turkey ahead the day before, which always makes people go, huh, what? And I get the whole, the day of Thanksgiving, the whole presentation of the turkey and pulling it out of the oven, and it's beautiful and golden brown, and you know, the whole carving thing, but man, it's a mess. Then you got to do the gravy, and you're doing all these other dishes, and it gets really hectic. And a friend of mine, coworker, a long time ago suggested, I really need a better tool, suggested that, told me that she cooks hers the day before, been doing it for a long, long time, and I gave it a try, and fantastic. The turkey bones are all gone, put away, do whatever you do with them, make soup out of them later, whatever. And you made your gravy the day before, I'm telling you, so much better. And so what I do is cut it all up when it's done, you know, do it like you normally would do it, obviously. And then, you know, cut it up. I take the whole breast off, you know, each half of the breast, and put that in a pan, leave it all intact for the time being, and then put the legs and, you know, just arrange it in a big dish, and cover it with some chicken broth or turkey broth or the drippings, and then get that in the refrigerator, and then the next day I stick it in the oven. It takes maybe 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes. Put it in the oven on like 350, warm it back up again, and if you keep it covered, now you don't want to completely cover the turkey with juice, maybe like halfway up. It stays nice and moist. It's fantastic. Actually, the drippings I don't usually put in with the turkey. I use that to make my gravy, so what a time saver, honestly. And then all that mess, the turkey pan is all, you know, clean. You just, I'm telling you, give it a try. Thank you, Stella. She's probably not watching, but best advice I ever got. Holiday edition. So, checking to see if you can see what's going on here. I'm just browning this. It's actually getting a little too brown. Just want to get it so it's not pink anymore. Alright, tell my turkey story. So, I'm going to let that finish. Just about done. I'm going to turn it way down and just let it finish while I cut up my veggies. Now, I don't know what other veggies you would use in here, but onion and celery. Celery's the thing. I'm not a big celery lover. But definitely for flavoring, like I don't eat celery, but in soup and in, you know, certain things, it definitely is the thing that gives something its flavor. You know, you don't necessarily know what it is, but it's celery and onion. And I suppose you could put something else in there. I don't know what. I wouldn't. It's not really about the veggies. This is, the onion and the celery are just about flavoring. And celery takes a while to cook, so when we get that, we're going to get that out of the pan in a minute. We're going to use the drippings to saute the veggies, and where was I going? Sorry. Yeah. Brain cramp. I'm going to dice these real small. And then I'm trying to remember what I was going to say. You know? Too many things in the brain these days. That's my theory about being forgetful is, you know, I'm older. I'm not going to tell you how old, but I'm telling you, the brain is just full. There's no more room for anything in there. So that's my excuse for forgetting what I was going to say. I was on a train track of thought, and pew, went right off the rails. Whatever. I'm sure I'll think of it. Since I don't know my own name. Alright. I think we can get these drippings, the sausage out of here. I think we're good. So what I'm going to do is get them in here. It's all going to get mixed together anyway. So, wow, that onion. Oh, all going to get mixed together. I want to eliminate as much of the oil as possible, so I'm using a slotted spoon. Just going to throw that in there. I've got my oven preheated to 350. And so now I've got all that lovely drippings in there. I'm going to use that to saute my veggies. Let me just finish up with the celery here. I've got, I think 3 is going to be good. You don't want any one thing to be, so overpowering. So you want a good ratio of, onion to celery. And that's pretty much common for anything you're making. I've got a chop. Probably like an even ratio of onion and celery would be good. I mean, obviously there's going to be more cornbread and sausage, but as far as the veggies go, I'm not really going to notice them in there. It's just they're going to cook down and just add flavor. Getting there. Almost there. Yeah, one more. Get rid of that big clunky end. There's so many different stuffing recipes, and I'm sure the different nationalities, they have their version of all kinds of things, and but this is what I've been doing because I just love cornbread. I like sweet things. Sweet and savory together is really good. And again, like I said, we always have 2 because I typically will make the cornbread stuffing and my sister will make the meat stuffing, which is really just my mother used to use ground pork and ground beef and mashed potatoes, and I don't know what magic she put in it, but it was so good. And my sister's done a really good job of recreating that, so we still get to enjoy that even though she's not here, but it reminds us of her, so that's a good thing. So get that sauteing. Get some salt in there to sweat that onion down. A little bit of pepper. Not too much because I've already got pepper in my little poultry seasoning that I made. I didn't put any salt in this. I put pepper, a little bit of pepper. And adjust according to your taste. If you don't want to put any one of these things, just don't. Rosemary is a very holiday herb, and sage also goes really good with turkey and chicken. So I'm going to toss that around. It's going to take a few minutes, so I'm going to pause and I'll be back in a second. Hello again. So my onions and celery have been cooking away for a while, and the onions have gotten translucent, and they've picked up a lot of that the sausage drippings, so that all adds flavor. And so I've got my cornbread in the bowl with the sausage. Now I just wanted to note this was chicken sausage, so there wasn't a lot of grease. But if you did have, like if you were using a sausage that has more grease, then you would want to put that on a paper towel before you throw it in with your bread or cornbread, whatever you're using. So just a little side note there that I forgot to mention. So this is pretty much done. And this whole thing was, I mean, so easy. I'm just going to put this together and get it in the oven. And then, you can do that ahead, stick it in the refrigerator, and you're all set to go for Thanksgiving. So I'm just going to throw this in. Throw the rest of the stuff in. I was thinking about what other veggie, because I had said, there's not really a lot of other vegetables you would put in here, but I would actually put shaved Brussels sprouts in here, or leeks. That would also be good too. So I'm going to get my egg. I got 2 eggs. I beat it because I don't want to try to deal with egg yolks in here. I need it to be beaten already so that I don't have to. I want to just toss this gently because, as I said before, cornbread is very fragile. So you don't want to be like stirring it like crazy. If you were using regular bread, you wouldn't have to worry as much. I'm going to put 2 cups of chicken broth or turkey broth or vegetable stock, whatever. It's kind of, in a way, if you think about it, it's kind of like a savory bread pudding without the, without the cream, sort of. So, just going to give that a gentle toss. It's going to break up a bit, but it's fine. Trust me. One more toss. Go down the bottom and just toss it. There we go. That looks good. And then, stupid, I forgot my cranberries, so I'm going to have to toss it again. I'm going to just kind of eyeball maybe about a cup, depending on, how many cranberries you want in it. I'm just going to give it a quick little toss. I always just kind of look at, when it comes to that kind of thing, just kind of eyeball it. That looks good. Right, so let's get it in the pan. I've got a 9x13, and I'm just going to toss that in there. And also, I forgot to mention, this is totally optional, is when I saute the vegetables, I added some butter when you weren't looking. So, I mean, the cornbread's going to look mushy, the bread's going to look mushy, but trust me, it's going to bake up and get a little crusty on the top and be fantastic. So, I'm actually going to, I like things to look good too. Let's get a few more on there. I'm going to get that in the oven and I'll set a timer, come back in a little bit, and I'll show you what it looks like. Hi. Don't be like me. What did I forget? I'm going to give you a whole minute to figure out what I forgot. Because I'm blabbing so much. I forgot my seasoning. So I'm going to just kind of do that. Dummy, what is wrong with me? That was supposed to go in the pan with the veggies. So I'm just going to kind of rake it through. Really? It's supposed to be educating. Oh man. I'm just a home baker. Alright. Not a lot of seasoning, and I don't think it's going to matter because I was able to mix it around. Let's try this again. Cornbread stuffing part 2. I'll be back. Alright, the stuffing was in there for 25 minutes, 26 minutes, somewhere in that vicinity, and it probably could stay in and brown a little bit more, but I'm not eating this right now and I'm going to warm it up again, so I'll put it back in the oven. But if you get it to the point where just as long as everything's cooked through, you can stick it in the fridge and then warm it back up again later. I'm going to let it cool a little, cover it, and put it in the fridge. I'm just going to garnish it with a little bit of parsley, if you have fresh herbs, that's even better, but just for some color, just to make it look pretty. And check it out. I don't see it that well. Try not to burn myself on camera. See, looks good. You can smell all the herbs that I almost forgot to put in. I'm getting the rosemary and the thyme, and just like I said, a little pinch. If you don't have poultry seasoning, just make up your own. You can look it up too, how to make it. It's also got marjoram in it, which I didn't have, but no big deal. I don't even know what that tastes like. And you can add other things. If you wanted to make it a little spicy, you could. I wouldn't, but that's me, because I don't like spices. So I finished getting dressed for work. I'm going to head out over to the library, and I hope you enjoy this. The recipe will be up so you can make it yourself, make it your own, as always. And come check me out again next time. I'm going to be doing some baking with my son again. I'm going to be doing some rough puff pastry, and check out the other things the library is doing. We're always busy doing all kinds of things. We've got some in-person stuff happening too. Hopefully we'll be able to continue to do that. And I hope you enjoy your holiday. Make sure you take some time for yourself to enjoy the holiday if you're doing all the baking. Get people to help you and do some things ahead, and have a great Thanksgiving. I'll see you soon.